would I like to see and should the Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia rematch still happen? The initial reaction answer to that is no, at least for the time being. But at the same time, that's a fight that needs to happen at some point. While Ryan Garcia contractually screwed up the entire fight by losing, Devin Haney has made it clear that he still wants to fight Ryan Garcia. Even with anything happening, he still wants that rematch and get back. And I respect Devin Haney a ton for that. I think that speaks measures to the type of fight Devin Haney is and the type of person that Devin Haney is. That he wants that rematch and that get back now. But at the same time, doesn't make sense where obviously Devin Haney is not coming off the best performance and Ryan Garcia is coming off of an abysmal performance. Would that fight make sense? And after I thought about this, I came to the conclusion that actually it would make sense to have happen next. And you might ask, well, why would you say that? My reasoning behind this is, listen, both guys did not come off of brilliant performances. But you do know for a fact that both guys have each other on their minds. Devin Haney knows that, yes, he still has a 0 on his record, but he knows what happened in that fight. At the same time, Ron Garcia knows that he needs to get back from not only the Rolly Romero fight, but also the PED accusations. Obviously, everything regarding around the PED situation, he wants to prove that he can still fight at that level. And I feel like neither guy is going to fully be able to move on in their boxing careers until they get that rematch made. And yes, my initial response to that was, no, I don't want to see the rematch right now. It's pushed away. But now that Devin Haney has said that he wants the rematch, and I start thinking about that, all of a sudden that idea of the rematch makes a lot more sense to me. Because for Ryan Garcia, outside of just a simple tune-up fight, I don't know what else makes sense for him. And it's the same thing for Devin Haney. You know, there's options on the table. Don't get me wrong. Devin Haney is still a great fighter. And I made that clear yesterday. But is there anything that's going to still equate to the level of money that they could bring in, the revenue, than the Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney fight? I don't think so. It won't be as big as it could have been prior to the performances on Friday. But I still think that rematch needs to be made. And Bob Arum said something interesting. He said he believes that Devin Haney is gun shy and afraid of getting punched hard. And that's why Bob Arum favors Raleigh over Haney if they were to fight next. Now, that's something for another time in terms of the Raleigh situation. Do I think Raleigh beat Devin Haney? I don't know. The way that Devin Haney fought, his resistance to the punch and the way he decided to go out there against Jose Ramirez was not very good. I still feel like he's too skilled to go out there and lose to Raleigh Romero, but that's something I would have to think about that fight even comes to fruition. What I want to say there is why I mentioned that in this segment was because I do think that's a problem. And I personally don't believe that Devin Haney will be able to move on. I think it was clear. He definitely was gunshot. I think he was nervous to get hit. I think it was also a mixture of rust, also a mixture of just ring inactivity and stuff like that. But I do believe that Devin Haney, if he can go out there and he can defeat Ryan Garcia in a fight, that would do wonders for his career from a mental standpoint. From a actual accolades, resume standpoint would be great. But from a mental standpoint, which is what you need as a boxer, that would be huge for him. Knowing that he can overcome Ryan Garcia, knowing that he can overcome the left hook, knowing that he can overcome and he got the defeat, he got his revenge, I think that would do wonders for Devin Haney moving forward. And that is why I do believe that if this fight were to be made next, it actually does make a lot of sense. Now, it wouldn't shock me if they still go through this process and say, okay, both guys get another fight or two in before they make it. But my honest opinion is that the rematch needs to happen. And if it happens next for both guys, I'm no longer against that. I actually am in favor of that. And that's mostly due to the fact that Devin Haney wants that fight. He held up to his part of the bargain and he got the win on Friday. And if he still wants to make that fight, they need to make that fight happen.